In the uppermost reaches of Europe, where the Scandinavian peninsula stretches its long, rugged arm toward the Arctic, lies a kingdom carved from ancient rock and ice. It is a land defined by a coastline of impossible length, a shoreline so fractured and indented by the sea that if stretched out, it would circle the globe 2.5 times. This is a landscape born of immense geological forces, where colossal glaciers scour deep valleys into the bedrock, leaving behind the breathtaking fjords that are the nation's soul. This is a place of towering mountains that plunge directly into the ocean, of vast, quiet forests that seem to hold the memory of millennia, and of a people whose lives are shaped by the dramatic, cyclical rhythm of the seasons. This is Norway. From the vantage point of an eagle, it appears as a long, rugged spine of land, its western edge frayed and shattered by the relentless power of the North Atlantic. The light here is a living entity, a character in the national story, shifting dramatically with the high latitudes. It ranges from the soft, ethereal glow of the midnight sun, which bathes the summer landscape in 24-hour daylight, casting long, gentle shadows even at midnight, to the deep, mystical twilight of the polar night, where the sun is but a memory and the sky comes alive with the dancing, otherworldly colors of the aurora borealis. This is a land of profound, often stark, beauty. But to look closer is to discover a society that is at once deeply traditional and remarkably forward-thinking, a nation that has built one of the world's most prosperous and peaceful societies while maintaining an unbreakable bond with the wild, untamed nature that surrounds it. This is a story not of isolation, but of a deep and abiding connection to the sea that has shaped its history, to the land that offers both solace and challenge, and to the quiet, resilient people who call this magnificent corner of the world home. This is the story of daily life in Norway. Life here is governed by a rhythm of quiet efficiency and a deep, unspoken respect for balance. The weather is a constant, active participant in daily life, a force that shapes plans, conversations, and moods. A sudden downpour in Bergen, the continent's rainiest city, is met not with complaint, but with a calm acceptance and the collective rustle of Gore-Tex. A perfect, sun-drenched day, by contrast, is cherished with an almost religious reverence, and offices will empty as people seek to soak in every rare ray. This profound awareness of the elements has cultivated a national character of immense patience, steadfast pragmatism, and a deep-seated, humble respect for the world around them. The popular saying, "There is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing," is not a cliché. It is a fundamental life philosophy, a practical expression of a will to engage with nature on its own terms. The population is small, just over 5 million people, spread across a vast and challenging terrain. This fosters an atmosphere of quiet order and a high degree of mutual trust. In this society, personal space is paramount, yet there is a powerful sense of collective responsibility. Anonymity is the norm on a city bus, where strangers rarely engage in small talk. But in a small town, the bonds of community are deep and binding. Even in the capital city of Oslo, life retains a manageable, human scale. It is a capital city where the surrounding forest, the Marker, is just a short tram ride away, a place where the Prime Minister can often be seen walking the streets without a fuss. Life moves at a calm, deliberate, and mindful pace, a rhythm set not by frantic urgency, but by the steady turning of the seasons. Daily life in Norway is anchored in the bedrock of family and home. The family unit is the cornerstone of Norwegian society, a source of immense strength and identity. Homes are sanctuaries of warmth and light, havens from the often harsh and unforgiving weather outside. They are places of kos, a Norwegian concept akin to the Danish hygge, a feeling of coziness, contentment, and shared warmth. Kos is a conscious act, a deliberate cultivation of well-being. It is the glow of candlelight on a dark winter evening, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and cinnamon buns, the quiet click of knitting needles, the murmur of conversation around a kitchen table while a storm rages outside. It is the simple pleasure of being present, comfortable, and together. This focus on well-being extends into the professional world. Work-life balance is not just an ideal, it is a structural and cultural reality. The standard workday is clearly defined, typically from 8 to 4, and it is widely understood that time after work belongs to family, friends, and personal pursuits. This collective agreement allows for a daily life where parents can be home to cook dinner with their children, where evenings can be spent skiing on illuminated trails in the winter or swimming in the fjord in the summer. The generous parental leave policies, which encourage both mothers and fathers to take substantial time off with a new child, further reinforce the centrality of family. This inherent closeness fosters a powerful sense of collective spirit. The tradition of dugnad, or voluntary community work, is still very much alive. This could be neighbors coming together to paint the local school, maintain a community hall, or clear a hiking path. It is an unspoken social contract, a shared understanding that the well-being of the individual is inseparable from the well-being of the whole. Tradition in Norway is not a relic of the past, preserved under glass. It is a living, breathing, and integral part of the present. The Norwegian language, a North Germanic tongue that descended directly from the Old Norse of the Viking Age, is the heart and soul of their identity. This heritage is celebrated with immense pride, most vividly on the 17th of May, Constitution Day. It is not a day of military parades, but a joyous, nationwide celebration of children, community, and the future. The streets fill with children's parades, the air alive with the sounds of marching bands and cheerful songs. It is a day when Norwegians of all ages don their bunad, the traditional national costume. Each region has its own distinct design, a masterpiece of hand-woven fabrics, intricate embroidery, and ornate, custom-made silver jewelry. The bunad is more than a costume. It is a statement of identity, a visible symbol of one's connection to a specific place and a shared national heritage. It is a lifetime investment, often passed down through generations and worn with genuine pride at weddings, confirmations, and holidays. In the far north, in the vast open landscapes of Finnmark and Troms, the indigenous Sami culture represents another vital part of the national identity. For millennia, the Sami people have lived in harmony with the harsh Arctic environment. their lives traditionally centered on reindeer herding. Their unique languages, their colorful clothing, the Gakti, and their deep spiritual connection to the land are an integral part of Norway's cultural tapestry. The Sami Parliament in Karasjok stands as a symbol of their resilience and their living, evolving culture, which contributes to the nation through music, art, and a profound environmental wisdom. This tangible connection to the past is etched into the landscape itself, from the ancient stave churches built by the Vikings to the rock carvings that tell stories of a time before history was written. These are not just tourist attractions, they are living links to a long and storied history. The ocean is the lifeblood of Norway. It is their historic highway, their larder, and the source of their modern prosperity. For centuries, Norwegians have been a seafaring people, and today, the nation's economy is a story of remarkable prudence and stability. The discovery of vast oil and gas reserves in the North Sea in the late 1960s transformed the nation from one of Europe's poorer countries into one of its wealthiest. But unlike many resource-rich nations, Norway managed its wealth with extraordinary foresight. The profits are funneled into the Government Pension Fund Global, the world's largest sovereign wealth fund. This colossal savings account, built on ethical investment guidelines, is designed to secure the nation's generous welfare state for generations to come, long after the last drop of oil has been extracted. While the energy sector remains a cornerstone, the economy is diverse. Fishing and aquaculture, particularly the technologically advanced salmon farming industry, are major global players exporting high-quality seafood around the globe. The nation's long seafaring history has also made it a world leader in the maritime and shipping industries. Onshore, a vibrant technology sector has emerged, particularly in cities like Oslo and Trondheim, with a focus on green technology, software development, and digital innovation. The labor market is characterized by high wages, strong workers' rights, and an egalitarian structure, underpinned by a strong tradition of trade unions and collective bargaining. This system, funded by high taxes, fosters a sense of economic security and stability, a constant humbling reminder of their profound dependence on the ocean's bounty and their own careful, long-term planning. Norwegian food is a direct and honest reflection of the landscape, simple, fresh, pure, and deeply connected to the seasons. The cuisine is built around what the land and, more often, the sea can provide. Seafood is naturally the undisputed staple. A freshly caught piece of cod, particularly the seasonal delicacy known as skrei, a migratory Arctic cod, or a perfect fillet of salmon, simply prepared with boiled potatoes and a dollop of butter, is not just a meal. It is a cherished ritual, a taste of the place itself. Shrimp, or reka, are a summer favorite, bought fresh from a boat and eaten simply on white bread with mayonnaise and a squeeze of lemon. Traditional methods of food preservation, born from centuries of necessity in a time before refrigeration, are still an integral part of the culinary culture. Rakfisk, fermented trout, is a pungent delicacy beloved by connoisseurs, while cured and smoked meats are staples, especially lamb. The Norwegian sheep, a hardy ancient breed, roam freely across the mountains, grazing on wild herbs and grasses. This unique diet gives their meat a distinct, savory flavor, which is the star of the national dish, fårikål, a simple stew of lamb and cabbage. Foraging for mushrooms and berries, like the prized amber-colored cloudberries, and tart lingonberries in the short summer and autumn months is also a common practice. The daily diet is often simple. The matpakke, or packed lunch, is a national institution, typically open-faced sandwiches on whole-grain bread, neatly separated by wax paper. The main meal of the day is middag, or dinner, eaten early in the evening with the family. While the culinary scene in the cities is evolving, with innovative chefs reimagining traditional ingredients, the heart of the cuisine remains in the home. A shared meal with family, featuring ingredients that were caught, raised, or foraged just a stone's throw away, remains the truest and most authentic taste of the country. To truly understand Norway is to understand its nature. The landscape is not a passive backdrop. It is an active, powerful force, a constant and awe-inspiring presence in daily life. The philosophy of friluftsliv, or open-air life, is deeply woven into the national psyche. It is a belief that a rich life is a life lived in connection with nature. This is not about extreme sports or conquering peaks. It is about the simple, restorative act of being outdoors in any weather at any time of year. This environment does not just invite exploration, it demands it. Hiking is a national pastime. The right to roam, or allemannsretten, is a traditional law that grants everyone the right to access and camp on uncultivated land, fostering a deep sense of shared ownership and responsibility for the natural environment. The hytte, or cabin, is a cherished national institution. For many Norwegian families, owning a small, simple cabin in the mountains or by the sea is a primary life goal. The cabin is a sanctuary, a place to escape the pressures of daily life, to disconnect from technology, and to reconnect with family and the natural world. Many cabins are intentionally simple, with no electricity or running water, where the daily rituals involve chopping wood and fetching water from a stream. The experience of being in nature is immersive. It is the springy moss underfoot on a forest path, the constant caress of the wind on a mountaintop, the sudden reveal of a glacier gleaming in the distance. Winter transforms the landscape into a snowy playground. Skiing is not just a sport, it is a way of life. Cross-country skiing, or langrenn, is a national obsession, a way to find peace and solitude in the silent, snow-laden forests. Life here is lived outdoors as much as possible, in deep, abiding appreciation of the wild, untamed, and utterly magnificent beauty that surrounds them. For all their apparent remoteness, the communities of Norway are remarkably well connected. A sophisticated infrastructure of excellent roads, bridges, and groundbreaking subsea tunnels links the major islands and crosses the formidable fjords, turning what were once long and arduous journeys into simple commutes. To descend into one of these tunnels, like the Lærdal Tunnel, the world's longest, is a surreal experience. You drive down under the immense weight of a mountain or a fjord, through a perfectly engineered tube of concrete and light, before emerging minutes later in a different landscape. These incredible feats of engineering are a powerful symbol of the Norwegian determination to overcome the challenges of their geography. The public transportation system is clean, efficient, and reliable. The train network, particularly the scenic route between Oslo and Bergen, offers one of the most beautiful rail journeys in the world. Ferries are an essential part of the national highway system, serving as floating bridges that are a part of daily life. The iconic Hurtigruten coastal ferry is more than a tourist cruise. It is a lifeline, a mailboat, and a cargo ship, that has connected 34 communities along the coast, from Bergen to Kirkenes, every single day for over a century. This seamless blend of modern convenience and profound respect for nature is one of the defining paradoxes of Norwegian life. Norway is a global leader in the adoption of electric vehicles, a conscious policy choice reflecting the country's environmental goals. It is entirely possible to live in a small, remote village surrounded by pristine wilderness, yet still have access to high-speed fiber optic internet. It is a carefully constructed reality, a testament to their ability to innovate while preserving what they hold most dear. For the young people of Norway, growing up here offers a unique and complex blend of immense freedom, security, and a deep connection to the outdoors. The education system is a high priority with an excellent free public school system that emphasizes equality, critical thinking, and collaboration. The concept of friluftsliv is integrated into the curriculum from a young age, with schools often organizing outdoor learning days, ski trips, and hiking excursions, ensuring that every child develops a comfortable and respectful relationship with nature. For higher education, the vast majority of young Norwegians must leave their hometowns. They travel to the country's major university cities, Oslo, Bergen, Trondheim, or Stavanger, to attend university. This period away from home is a modern rite of passage. It offers a crucial chance to experience the wider world, to gain new perspectives, and to acquire specialized skills. For many, it is their first experience of life in a bustling city, a stark contrast to the close-knit familiarity of their home village. But the pull of home, the deep-seated connection to this unique place, is incredibly strong. A significant number choose to return after completing their studies, drawn back by the powerful bonds of family, the tight-knit community, and the unparalleled quality of life. They return with new ideas, fresh energy, and global perspectives, contributing to the nation's dynamic and continuous evolution. The great challenge for Norway in the 21st century is to create enough diverse and challenging opportunities to keep its young, highly educated population thriving in all parts of the country. The rhythm of day and night in Norway is a study in stark and beautiful contrasts, a rhythm dictated by the high latitudes. The long, deep darkness of winter, the mørketid or dark time, brings a dramatic shift. With only a few hours of twilight-like daylight, life turns inward. As evening falls, a profound and palpable sense of quiet descends upon the land. The towns and villages become still. The wind and the sea are often the only sounds that remain. This is a time for home, for family, for rest. Lights glow warmly from windows, signaling a collective retreat into the comfort and security of domestic life. Norwegians cherish this peace. The quiet nights are a time for reflection, for reading, for conversation, for simply being present. Conversely, the long, light-filled days of summer, when the midnight sun hangs in the sky, create a sense of boundless energy. The white nights blur the lines between day and night, and the social energy turns outward. The harbors are busy, the hiking trails are active, and people are out and about, socializing and making the most of the precious light. It is a time for barbecues with friends that last late into the night, for late-night swims in the fjord, and for trips to the family cabin. The energy is focused and celebratory, a reflection of a society that understands the fleeting nature of the summer sun and is determined to savor every moment. Life in this remote and beautiful corner of the world is not without its significant challenges. The weather can be relentless, its power a constant factor in every plan. Winter storms can close mountain passes and cancel ferries for days at a time, reinforcing the sense of isolation. The cost of living is one of the highest in the world, an unavoidable consequence of high wages and a commitment to quality. The landscape, for all its breathtaking beauty, is unforgiving, with limited arable land and a finite amount of space for building. There is also the constant complex challenge of balancing tradition with the pressures of progress. How does a nation built on oil wealth transition to a sustainable, green economy? This environmental paradox is a central tension in modern Norwegian politics and identity. How does it welcome a growing number of tourists without compromising the fragile ecosystems and the peaceful way of life that attracts them in the first place? How do you maintain the viability of small, remote communities in an age of increasing urbanization? These are the vital questions that the Norwegian people grapple with, thoughtfully and collectively, every single day. So why do people choose to stay? Why, in a world of seemingly limitless options, do they remain rooted in this small, remote place? The answers are as varied as the individuals themselves, but they often circle back to the same core, fundamental themes. They stay for the profound, unshakable sense of community, for the feeling of belonging to a place where people trust and care for one another. They stay for the unparalleled safety, for the simple, priceless freedom to let their children roam and explore without fear, a freedom born from that deep well of social trust. They stay for the peace, for the pervasive quiet that allows for a deeper, more meaningful connection to oneself and to the natural world. In a world saturated with noise and distraction, Norway offers a rare and precious silence. They stay for the balance, for a culture that values family and personal time as much as it values work. And above all, they stay for the unbreakable connection to home, to a landscape that is not just a backdrop for their lives, but an integral part of their identity, a part of who they are. It is a connection that is forged in the wind, in the sea, and in the shared collective experience of living in a place of wild, dramatic, and enduring beauty. It is the feeling of having roots that run as deep as the mountains themselves. Norway exists in a delicate, beautiful, and constantly negotiated balance between the old ways and the new, between the untamed wildness of nature and the engineered comforts of modernity, between a cherished solitude and an essential community. It is a place shaped by the wind, the ocean, and a quiet, unyielding, and deeply admirable strength. Here, life is not measured in grand events or dramatic upheavals, but in the steady, dependable rhythm of the seasons, in the warmth of a shared moment of cozy, in the comfort of a familiar story, and in the simple, profound beauty of the everyday. It is a living testament to the idea that in a world that is constantly, relentlessly speeding up, there is still a place and a deep human need for a quiet life.